Hello, and welcome to the Destiny Expanse podcast, a podcast where we talk about all things Destiny. The Destiny Expanse supports a two-man fire team. My name is Callan.
And I am Joe. Welcome, everyone.
With this being our first official episode, we'd like to take a moment just to tell you a little more about our show. Within each episode, we'll have a rundown of segments like the discussion table, where we dive into all the latest news, updates, and events about Destiny, a rumor mill, where any and everything goes, the buy or sell segment, where we just say whether we buy or sell things surrounding the game, such as nerfs, rumors, release dates, etc. We'll also have the proving grounds, where we spotlight a video or article that we think could be helpful to you or that we think is just cool. Loot cache is another thing that we'll have. We discuss new items with the vendors, including real-world items in the actual Bungie store that are totally sold out and cost a kidney on eBay now. And finally, we have the mailbag, where we take some time to answer listener email.
But before we get started on this journey, we'd like to share a bit about ourselves with you. This is basically what Destiny has done for us with friendships and other super good times that we've experienced firsthand in this game that we're both pretty passionate about. Colin, I'm going to let you go first on this because I'm terrible about breaking the ice on that type of stuff. Give us all a little background on your Destiny experience.
So my introduction to Destiny and Bungie in general started with Halo Combat Evolved, and I'm primarily an Xbox player. I do have both consoles, the One and the PS4, but mostly I play on the Xbox because that's where my community kind of is. And I used to be a kind of a more of a single player. Yeah, I just preferred those kind of games. I don't mind multiplayer, but it wasn't always my favorite. I did like games like Unreal Tournament, Counter-Strike, Duke Nukem, of course, Duke Nukem, GoldenEye, and I was definitely okay with the multiplayer dynamic. But when Destiny came out, I was so excited. I didn't play any of the betas, and I totally bought the PS4 white, Destiny bundle. I was super excited about it, and to be honest, when Destiny came out, I absolutely hated this game. It felt like an early access game. It was totally incomplete. It felt super repetitious, kind of boring. You just ran around and did patrols all the time. Your gear, it took forever to level up. I was kind of like, what the F? It didn't even have private matches, custom games. This is 2014 we're talking about, and that's something that Halo, that's I didn't understand how it didn't have any of that stuff in there. So I was super frustrated. 15 hours in, I totally bailed, said I'll never play that garbage again. A couple of months later, some guys at work were like, "Hey man, you should try this game, Destiny." And I was super quick to be like, "Dude, this game sucks. It's horrible. I hate it. There's no way. Why would you think time is such a terrible game?" Yeah. So as of I think October of 2014, well, pretty much just a month after I said I'd never play it again. I got back into it right before the Dark Below dropped, and since then I've created 2 Titans, 2 Warlocks, 1 Hunter, and I've sunk at least 2,000 plus hours across 3 consoles into this game. And I probably need therapy because now I'm making a podcast about it. But this has totally turned my opinions on its head. This game's amazing. I love it. There's things that I complain about and I gripe about. I'm a part of the Destiny community. That's what we're known for. But in the end, this is a heck of a game. I've never had an experience where I meet people from all over the country like you, and we just hit it off, and now I consider you a good friend. And I was just wearing a Destiny shirt one day to a barbecue restaurant here in Kansas City, and these guys are like, "Hey man, do you Destiny?" I'm like, "Yeah, I Destiny." And none of that would have happened without this game. So I love my Titan. I love my Hunter. Team Might all the way. And I definitely can't wait to see what's coming down the pipeline. Joe, what's going on with you, man?
Oh, boy. Well, here goes nothing at any rate. Just like you, obviously, I'm primarily an Xbox player. But with Bungie, I dabbled with Halo a little bit. Not a lot. Basically played the campaigns. Wasn't a big PvP player of the Halo series. I was pretty much exclusively over there with Activision and Treyarch and Infinity Ward with the Call of Duty. That's where just a lot of guys I played with were playing. We were having a good time with it. But Destiny, the game, basically started for me back in 2013 when I first started seeing the still shots from the game. It really piqued my interest in it. I started looking into the game a little bit more, and I remember seeing the first game clips and announcement of the possible beta. I remember this is 2013. I remember seeing the hunter and his golden gun and the warlock consumed in flame, and I was just like, oh man, that just looks totally BA. But the one thing that really hit me real hard was the music that was playing in the background. For whatever reason, that score just really drug me in. I didn't know the title of that song, but it ended up being the title song "End of the Line," which is off the original Destiny soundtrack. After hearing that music, seeing those clips, I was like, oh, I gotta go get this game. So I ended up pre-ordering in November of 2013 and was hoping for the beta real soon. At that point in time, Bungie was sitting back saying that their beta was going to get released in the spring of 2014. But we all know that didn't actually happen until September 2014. So by the time the public beta finally hit, I was doing my research online. That was July 2014. PlayStation went first, followed by Xbox. So it gave me some time to sit back and read some of the comments that the PlayStation players were using while I basically sat back and waited for the Xbox beta to launch. Well, when the beta launched, it just drew me in even more. I mean, you had low-level stuff, but it satisfied my taste for what I was looking for. I said I could not wait for this game to launch, so I ended up upgrading to the limited edition on July 27th, and I wanted the Ghost Edition, but like most of the stuff in Destiny, you couldn't find it. And I basically counted down the days. Went to the midnight launch and release of the game and came home. I played a game for like 16 hours straight. That's basically where it started. Now you fast forward to today, basically 2.5, 3 years later, I've got 3 fully developed characters, never deleted a single one. I got over 3,300 hours in the game. Got an Xbox Grimoire score of 55-35, and almost every item you can get, I have had or had. Had can be an angry word simply based on Bungie's vision of the vault, not quite understanding that. You got all this cool stuff. You want people to play your game and grind for that, but we're not going to give you enough vault space, so you can't keep it. So you have to pick and choose. Sore subject with me, but we won't go there for right now. But that being said,
sore subject.
Yeah, Destiny has brought me many, many good times. I mean, the game has rekindled old friendships, generated new ones, you being a perfect example, Colin. And I've met a lot of different guardians from all over the place. I've played a lot of games, and none has brought and experienced me the way Destiny has. To say the least, I'm thankful. I'm one thankful guardian for everything that this game has done and brought me. My hope is that others can share and have those very same moments and experiences. And with this podcast, we're hoping to enhance that.
And now, I mean, if you want to listen to this podcast, you have to have a Gallahorn.
Yeah, well, we won't go there. But at any rate, now that you know a little bit more about us and our point of views and where we're coming from with all this, this is the Destiny Expanse podcast.
Yeah, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into it with the discussion table. 1 month into the April update now. Give me your thoughts on what you think so far overall.
April update, I totally enjoyed it. Some people say, yeah, you're reskinning this, you're doing this. I think bringing back the old raids, I mean, for me personally, I started seeing a lot of year 1 and year 2 players that walked away from the game. We all know about the frustration, the lack of content, the broken storyline, et cetera, in year 1. I think they redeemed themselves a little bit in year 2 with the Taken. Actually, they redeemed themselves a lot with the Taken King, and then obviously Iron with the Rise of Iron coming in the 3rd year. It set a tone, but bringing everything back into focus and into play with it, I feel was a good move. It was a good, send-off sailing point for the original game.
Yeah, and I completely agree. One of my favorite things about this, not just the April update, I know they were doing it before, but the April update just, it enhanced and increased it even farther, are ornaments. Man, talk about how awesome some of that stuff looks with ornaments on it. I know it's just a bait, like, oh, hey, we're just adding some effects to old armor, but those effects look pretty rad. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, my Titans, with the critical gear, looks pretty amazing. Kind of dig it. I freaking love the ornaments, man. Except for the Wrath ornaments, I started to slap some of that stuff on, man, and I I think I might have epilepsy now. I just some of those lights are so freaking bright. It's killing my eyeballs, man. But I dig it. It's pretty cool.
It does do that. Since you're talking about that, we're basically in the 8th week of the overview with all the rebuffed and polished 390 raids, challenges, and difficulties. What do you think on this? I raid a little bit more often than what you do, but from your point of view.
Okay, so we're talking about raids, and one of my favorite things about the raid, specifically again, is Crota. We've always known that Crota is one of the easiest raids in the game. It's also the fastest raid in the game. I mean, it takes longer to jump up to the top of the tower to despawn the enemies than it does to complete the raid. Like, it's just how it is. Uh, and I, to be honest, I had never actually done the bridge the right way
I remember that.
until this update came out, and
I remember
it,
bringing you guys in there, and you're like, "Do what?
yeah,
Do this the
dude.
original way?"
When you get across there though, you get five guys across that bridge, and all of a sudden there's like all these swords, but you're waiting for the ogres, right? You're waiting for the ogres to come out. There, where's the wizards? Where's the ogres? They're not coming. You're like, what's going on? And then there's you kill one of the gatekeepers, and there's that sound, and you're like, whoa, what's that? And you realize that stuff on the stairs is lighting up, and then six swords just kind of appear in front of you, and you pick them up, and all these just a herd of knights come stampeding out of the gates from around every corner, and it's just open season on knights. It's kind of like when deer overpopulate, they tell the hunters just get a gun and shoot a deer in the face. It's just like that. It's like if you see a knight, grab a sword and just smack it in the face, and it's so rewarding, man. I love that bridge mechanic. I think that was just one of the most entertaining things, like whack a mole, but better. And I thought some of the challenges were pretty cool. I know we had a hard time with the Death Singer, and that was kind of tough. And I thought the Atheon part was kind of tough also. But overall, it's all about timing. And once you get that timing, kind of realize where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do. It's not as bad. I mean, it's definitely feels a lot more manageable, which is the raids in general. I mean, at first it kind of feels overwhelming, but once you kind of get a handle of what's really going on, it's really not that bad. So overall, I really like the raids. I really like what they did. I like the new additions, especially with the bridge and in Crota in general. Just I feel like that's a much better thought out raid now than it was before. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, you know me. I'm the raider. If Destiny didn't have raids, I don't know if I'd even be here. Let's be honest. I don't know how many completions I got. Maybe 400 or better. But for me, I thought they were fantastic. I agree with you 100% when we're looking at all the Crota gear and all the ornaments and stuff like that. Fantastic. I mean, it just looked amazing. Even when we were sitting back reading the news and in the daily forums and posts, what they were showing, then actually getting it was even more thought out. I thought the bridge mechanic was a nice add-on to it to basically kind of eliminate that ability to expose that cliche, if you will, within the original Crota's End. Going through the Death Singer, the thing that I like about that challenge the most is it requires everyone to sit back and be spot on and know where every single enemy is on the map and eliminate them in an amount of time that you can get that sword bearer out, take him down, and then book it back up to the arena to kill your root. Tough, yeah. We struggled a little bit out there on that first night, but then on that second night, it was like, okay, this is what we got to do. We know where everything's at. Boom, 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 get it done. I think that's one of the things that really piques a lot of people's interest with the raids is getting together with six guys. And I mean, obviously, if you got six guys that you know and you can
Or gals,
yeah, and get in there and do it, it's a killer experience. And there's some of us, that don't have that. We may not be that good about talking, so on and so forth. But the only thing I can say is if you've never gone in and done that, go on YouTube, look at the video clips that are out there, get familiar with some of the tactics, what's going on, and then go after that LFG. Get involved with it. The Destiny raid and game content is one of the best things about this game, at least from my aspect. I think other people agree with it too. Get in there, getting that loot, getting the ornaments, all that other stuff. It just enhances the Destiny experience all that much more. Crota, having different runners with the swords, I thought was a nice add-on too. The bad part about it is the core group that I normally went with, I was always sword bearer. So we didn't have those extra guys to sit back and do it. So we were teaching people on the fly. So we didn't clear it on the very first night when it dropped in the very first week, but like anything else, we got with it. Going into the Vault of Glass, and with what the devs were saying the Atheon challenge was going to be the hardest challenge they ever did. I think we melted that one pretty darn quick. The biggest thing was about getting Guardians in and out of the portal in enough time and taking down all the oracles. But once we got that down, we basically melted Atheon. I mean,
yeah. I mean, talk about the rise of the sleeper simulant just being such a stud.
Correct. I mean,
was that getting nerfed?
When that gun first came out, and it's going to be a replacement of the Gallahorn and this and that, all this other stuff, to say I was less than enthused is an understatement. But I think that weapon was basically generated or created for some of the environments that you're now seeing in the game. And I think that was one of the, we get back and we talk about how fragmented Destiny was at the beginning. I think a lot of that stuff was there, but they wanted to spread it out over X amount of time. And with this finally coming full circle, knowing that we're at the end of the life cycle of Destiny 1 before Destiny 2 comes out, now you're looking at everything together to see what it is. And when you put all that together, it's really impressive.
Yeah, I want to run it back real quick to the sleeper simulant, because when this I don't know how much Bungie actually leaked out about the sleeper simulant, but you want to talk about a gun where it got people's hypes. It got hyped up so much by basically third-party media, right? Like all these sites and people on Reddit were just like, oh man, this gun's going to be amazing. And you heard the details about it. And I think the only details that were really released is going to be a fusion rifle. It's going to shoot through things, and it's going to bounce around rooms. So immediately, like, my mind goes to, oh, this thing is going to be this amazing. It's almost like a wolf pack round, right? But it's one continuous boop, 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 boop. It just bounces around the entire room and just goes through everything. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
And so in this gun, like everyone's trying to figure out, how do we even get this gun? We don't know how it's going to unlock. And then just everyone had these crazy ideas, and it was awesome. It was awesome to see on Reddit.
It was all the introduction of the time gated materials. Well, you had to do this on a certain day and all that other stuff, which, Destiny at that point in time was kind of changing the grind in a sense, as opposed to year one, where, okay, you can upgrade this item, but the most you're going to upgrade in is by 6 points and all this other stuff. Nothing compared to what we have current day, but
right. But how you get the black spindle was such a cool,
huge,
an amazing thing.
Huge.
It was just so random and awesome. And I mean, everyone assumed that was going to be something kind of how you get the sleeper simulant also. And I'm not going to lie, when I finally got my sleeper simulant, not only how we got the sleeper, but when I got the sleeper, both of those were equally disappointing.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden it's like, I'm not going to go into a raid without my sleeper, because it's amazing. Like
it melts. Awesome. It melts almost anywhere.
Oh, it's great.
You go into Oryx and King's Fall. I've done a lot of Oryx King's Falls, but that raid is just so long and so dragged out. It just
and I would say
the weapons don't do anything for me.
I would say that's the least enjoyable raid right now is the King's Fall. I mean, I still enjoy it. It's just overly long, and somehow I guess that's become a bad thing. Wrath is still Wrath. There's nothing really new, but it does seem like you have a shot at any drop you want, as long as you pop a Knuckles of AO in any of the raids. And that's kind of cool. I just like that so little armor is dropping pretty much outside of Wrath. But that kind of segues into our next topic. What's dropping besides my Elo?
Well, raid-wise, dropping, and it is. I've seen it across multiple people saying on forums and everything else like that. They're not seeing the armor as much. Seeing the weapons, plenty of the weapons dropping, so on and so forth, but the armor hasn't been as fluid. The one thing that I've noticed in a lot of the armor that I've been getting, it's been very, very low. I've seen 90 gauntlets, or I might even seen a high 80 gauntlet, and a max value on a gauntlet's 99. For me, I'm one that's going to go back in and I'm going to do that raid multiple times until I get that top tier item. I'm always looking for that, tier 12. There's a lot of people when this all got released and they said, oh, Crota's coming back and Vault of Glass is coming back. And we probably could have put together almost 3 full fire teams for the raid on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. Now they're week 8. There's a lot less people coming into it because they just got their one item and they're happy with that, which that's cool too. But I try to grind and get whatever else I can. For me, once Destiny 2 hits, I'm just hoping that I can complete everything I want to complete in that order. I got the book done, everything else like that, but I still have, a shader here or an emblem here that I want to get, just trying to be that, completionist.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I'm I'm not the tier 12 kind of guy that you are, but
yeah,
I got my favorite. That's all that matters. I'm happy.
The curse is broken. At any rate, let's get on to our next topic, which we call our rumor mill. Okay, we all know Destiny 2 reveals this Thursday, May 18th, and we're all real excited to see what Bungie has in store for us after the fall of the last city, what's going to happen, et cetera, et cetera. But the biggest question I think that's going to be on everyone's mind is, after we see this content, when is the Destiny 2 beta going to be? When do you think it's going to happen? How is it going to happen? How much time is it going to be? We saw Destiny 1 in July. Is it going to be July? Are they even going to say anything on this reveal? Are they going to wait to E3? What do you think is going to happen with that, my man?
I'm not going to say anything about the reveal. I'm super curious to see what happens with that. Beta, I mean, the latest is going to be August for sure. I think August, it's easy. I know the first beta was in early July or late July last time, but
Correct.
I'm gonna go August. But I would bet that there is an alpha that drops soon after E3. Then I will bet also that's exclusively for PS4. Unfortunately, although I have both, so I will be participating. What I'm kind of curious about is if they're going to do that whole thing where it's like, hey, here's the beta for PS4 for these few days first, and then we're going to have kind of an extended time period for the beta with Xbox and PC. And it's kind of weird because you have Xbox and PC now. So, I mean, the exclusivity thing, I never liked it. I get it, but a year, that's I kind of wonder how that's gonna fly.
It's called put the cash in the pocket where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, us being on the other side of the spectrum here, being primarily Xbox players, I get it, and I understood it when I was a big Call of Duty player and Xbox was dropping stuff. But the biggest thing about it is, and I think a lot of distaste was put in a lot of players' mouths over this was, okay, when Call of Duty was on Xbox, you would get a 30-day preview, not a 1 year or a year and a half preview.
30 times.
that one just blows my mind.
I can't believe that either.
And then with this coming to PC, I'm really interested to see how this evolves, how this develops. They're talking about getting all these DLC packages together, and they're going to do, big content drops, and everything's going to be scheduled and kind of give you a roadmap of where Destiny 2 is going to go, et cetera, et cetera. The thing is, you have your Xbox players, your PlayStation players, and now your PC players, with that, I'm thinking if your populace is there, 2/3 of your populace might be on not your primary system that's getting all the exclusives. So whether or not Sony keeps that, they decide to pay up on it or whatever else, I don't know how that's going to happen, But getting back to that beta, okay, Destiny 1, July, okay, and I don't know if it's going to be July or not. I don't know if they're going to have an alpha or not. My guess is it's going to be a beta. PlayStation will definitely go first, no doubt about it. The question will be whether they do it with PlayStation first, PC second, Xbox third. I don't know what kind of capacity they have for this. But time will tell. But I know, just like you said, if they end up going with a PlayStation, I might get a little crazy and actually open up that Taken King PlayStation 4 that I've got still sitting in the box. I know.
It's about time, man. It's about time.
Terrible. Simply because I'm clamoring for it just like everybody else is.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens either way, and I can't wait for tomorrow's reveal. So let's go ahead and get to the proving grounds here. there's a video that we'd like to spotlight today, and that spotlight is on all final bosses killed without guns, challenges completed, no deaths. That's impressive. It's posted by Gladiator 182, and it is definitely not spelled how you think it is. I recommend you check it out. Again, that the name of that is Every Destiny Final Raid Boss Killed, no guns, no deaths, challenge modes, back to back, 390, no wipes. Now, I know it's a mouthful. It's awesome. It's really impressive. These guys, I mean, they all use their supers, grenades. Just I've
Yeah,
never seen anything quite like it.
As this game rolls down, I think you're going to see more of that content happening. Okay, and I think the main reason for it is there are people that just truly love playing this game. And with that, they're trying to find different challenges within the game that the devs have never even really designed to happen that way. You're seeing solo run this or time completion that. This particular one, all bosses, all raids, all challenges, no deaths, no guns. That's just the community, trying to basically push itself, and they're having a good time with it. I mean, they're getting subscribers or views on YouTube, and if you're Bungie, that's exactly what you want. It's free advertising, so on and so forth. But I think we're going to still continue to see more and more of that stuff, and people are going to try to outdo one another. But I think that's all really good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we've only got 4 more months to wait.
Yeah, it'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, as fast as you flying by.
Speaking of that, let's move on to our last topic, the loot cache. Okay. We're all fully aware collector's editions sold out of Destiny 2 like wildfire, just like that. The limited editions that are only available at GameStop, those went pretty darn fast as well. I was one of the fortunate ones to keep my nose to the grinding stone, and I was able to pick up another additional collector's edition after the fact with some of the other collectibles at GameStop. But even those sold out fairly quick. I put out on our other site that, hey, these are out there, and it's like boom, boom, boom. They were gone later that day. Had a lot of people asking, do you think they're going to have more? Do you think they're going to sell more? Are they going to show more? I think when they're saying collectors and limited, that's exactly what it is. If you look at what they did with Destiny 1 and how much that Ghost Edition and the limited editions were selling for after the release date, I mean, it was incredible. You had 200% markups, and people were paying those prices. You look at Destiny 2 limited editions right now on eBay, and if you know how to break down and search through your filing profile, you can see what auctions have been completed. And most of those that have been completed, which are basically indicated with a green indicator on it, they're selling for $400+ all day long. And the game hasn't even came out yet. I'm just hoping, all those people that say they're going to get them are going to have them. But I don't think there's going to be any more that are going to show up for that. There might be. The only thing I can say is, due diligence. I was watching on the website nowinstock.com just to see if anything would pop up. And, there'd be times this may show, that may show. But, I mean, it's a hot item. It's gone. I mean, just the other day, Activision Blizzard stated in their shareholders meeting that the pre-orders for Destiny 2 has outsold anything that they've ever had before. Destiny 1 was the biggest new IP launch of all time, and it looks like Destiny 2 is actually going to surpass that.
Which is impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive, especially for as much bad press and everything else that Destiny got.
Haters going to hate, man.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want about the game. There's a lot of people that want to be that way. They want to be in that role, so on and so forth. And, I think Bungie's up to the challenge. I think they're going to be able to pull something off, something more than what they've did before. They're a real good company as far as listening to what your community base is saying and getting it, in place. Now you got, some people that say, oh no, they don't listen to this. They don't listen to that. With 30 million registered users, how many people can you actually listen to? As a company, they're going to drive whatever they need to drive in the direction that they need to go in. But they try their best, from what I've seen, compared to most other companies, to incorporate what the community is clamoring for as they move forward.
Well, I agree with just about all of that. There's some things that I wish Bungie would do a little bit better, and I hope they do better with Destiny 2. One of them is maybe just a little bit more transparency. Some of the things that I just had a problem with, specifically nerfing guns for PvP, but carrying those across for PvE, I really think that needs to change. In listening to the tryhards on the trials, the top 1%, and trying to nerf things for them. I mean, I know the truth was a problem, but only in trials, you know.
Yeah.
So
that topic could take up another
I
whole
completely agree.
segment on it. But like I said, between what we got coming up tomorrow, May 18th with the reveal, I think that's going to satisfy quite a people's palate as far as what they're looking for within this game. There's going to be a bunch of speculation on it. E3 is right around the corner. That should also increase that. And then that beta will hit sometime between there, and that's what I'm saying, July, August. And you get into August, and then you're right around the corner, and September 8th's coming, and it's coming quick.
It is, and I can't. I mean, tomorrow's coming quick. I can't.
Yeah,
I
that
can't
too.
wait to see what happens. So I think that's going to do it for today's show. If you enjoyed this, you can find out more about us on our Facebook group at the Destiny Expanse. We take listener email, and if you'd like to ask us a question or have us answered on air, email us at destinyexpanse@gmail.com. You can always tweet us also at the Destiny Expanse, all one word. Joe, as always, it's a pleasure.
Likewise, same here.
And before we go, the fun fact of the day, the first man to urinate on the moon was Buzz Aldrin, after shortly stepping onto it. Who knew? Stay tuned for our next episode, which will be tomorrow. We'll be breaking down all of the Thursday reveal and giving our thoughts and opinions. That'll be about 5 o'clock Central Time. And I think that's all we have for today. You guys take care.